Hi everyone, thank you so much for tuning to my channel. I am Valery Molone, leadership coach and motivational speaker. This is a channel you ask me a question and I'll give you guys an answer. In this episode, we will be talking about why should you eliminate nagging self-doubt. So I will give you guys a 3 strategy that you can apply today in your life to change nagging self-doubt. Now let's start with what is the nagging self-doubt. Majority of the time when we set a goal, when we wanted to change something in our life, we wanted to do something new, the first thought that goes in your mind is to think about failure. Think about, I don't know if I'm good enough. Think about, I don't think if I can do this. These are the nagging self-doubt that goes through your mind that is stopping you from even moving forward or taking the first step. So that's why it's very important to eliminate all the nagging and self-doubt that you have about yourself if you are wanted to change something in your life. If you're setting a goal and you wanted to achieve your goal. So that's why I'm going to give you guys a 3 strategy that you can apply in your life to change that. Now, me personally, I used to struggle with this a lot. And I changed a lot of things in my life. I changed from career perspective as well as personal. So every time I tried to change something, the first thing that went through my head was, can I do this? Do I have enough knowledge to do this? What if I fail? What are people going to say about me? What are my expectations about my own self? And then that's kept me from going and moving forward to do something. And it took me a long time to train myself, to train my mind, to train my body to understand that those thoughts are coming in. Now, as you guys know, I make a lot of videos about almost everything. The reason I talk about comfort zones so much is that as a human being, we create this ritual for us, this habit, everyday habit. And normally, psychologically, what happens is that once you do something every single day for 6 months, it becomes your habit. It becomes part of your life. It becomes something that you subconsciously every single day doing it, whether it's good or bad. So for example, if you want to change a habit, it takes you about 2 weeks to break the habit and then takes you a couple of months to get used to the new habit. Once it becomes your new habit, then you're subconsciously doing it. Now that can go for both way, negative and positive. So if you're a positive thinker, and if you're thinking positive all the time, eventually that becomes your habit. You become your personality. You become that person. And the same thing goes with negative thinking. If you're always constantly thinking negative, doing things negatively, thinking about failure, having fear all the time, it becomes part of your ritual. It becomes part of your habit. So it's very important to pay attention to your thoughts when you want to do something. So I'm going to talk to you guys about strategy number 1. Strategy number 1. Take action rather than changing yourself. A lot of people, when we set a goal in our life, when you wanted to change something in your life, as simple as losing weight, changing your relationship, getting a new job, learning something new, we think and we put this pressure on ourselves and thinking that we have to change our personality. We have to change everything in order to accomplish that. And there's a very thin line between your personality and your habit. Obviously, your habit kind of represents your personality, but your personality is who you are. There's certain quality that you have that makes you. So every time if you wanted to change something, does not necessarily mean that you have to change your personality. It just means that you have to take an action for that particular things that you wanted to change. So if you have a self-doubt, for example, if you are trying to get into a relationship or get out of a toxic relationship, that's the best example I can give, is because we spend a lot of time with other person, with our partner. And then once we do that, it becomes a part of our life. So all of a sudden, if you're getting divorced, and then everything changes. Everything changes, and the self-doubt and the nagging and the sorrow that comes with that, it becomes kind of like you can't differentiate that if that's your personality or that's just something you're going through. And a lot of people don't understand that. When we do something, when we get sad, our face impressions gets dropped. We don't really laugh a lot. We don't really, we're not really productive. We're not really positive because we're going through something, especially if that something is taking a long time. So it's very important to differentiate that and don't lose your personality over the action that you're taking towards something that you're changing. And that something can be anything. Losing a weight. When we start losing weight, when we decide to lose weight, What do? We go on a diet. We go on a gym. And it makes us, our personality is the same, but makes our habit different. And when your habit is different, especially if you don't like the gym like me, what happens is that you're always moody and you hate to go to the gym every morning and you hate to eat the healthy food. That doesn't mean it's your personality. That just means that you are trying to change something in your life. You're taking action toward that. And what happened is that the reason I'm mentioning this is because a lot of people give up after a while because they think that becomes their personality. I feel bad. And majority of the time is the case of when you change something that is not good for you. And your mood changes, your biological behavior changes, your body changes, everything changes. So we think that our personality changes, but your personality doesn't change. You just take an action. So it's very important to remind yourself when you change something, say to yourself, I rather change the situation. I'm changing the situation, but my personality would not change. It's not going to change. And that's the fear that a lot of people have. The minute we decide to do something, that's the fear comes in. Especially people around us that see us, family and friend. And they tell you that you have changed. So I'm going to give you a great example about myself, what happened. When I started to become a coach, I used to have a lot of other jobs. I used to be a bartender. I used to be a waitress. So in that environment, I was behaving a little bit differently because the field of the work was different. As I started to pursue this career, I became a little bit more serious. I learned things. I developed. I hang out with people that were similar to me, had a similar thinking of me. So a lot of my friends thought I changed. A lot of my friends thought that my personality changed. I changed. But I really didn't change. What I changed was that I changed a habit that I had to a new habit, to a new career that I wanted to pursue. I'm still the same, except that I took an action. I wanted to better my career. I wanted to do something to help people. And that's what changed. Not so much my personality. And that's a very, very, very thin line. A lot of people don't pay attention when they decide to change something in their life. So if you want to change self-nagging doubt about yourself, when you're thinking negative, think about it. You are not going through something major that you have to change your personality. It's just that you're thinking about to change something, the fear comes in, and the action taking keep pulling you back in your comfort zone, and you need to come out of that comfort zone, do something, because once you get there, once you accomplish whatever that thing is, it's just your personality and your success. And that's the best of both that you can accomplish as a human being. Strategy number 2 to apply in your life to eliminate self-doubt, nagging, negative self-doubt, is to focus on your past success. We are so eager when we try to accomplish something, we're so eager to get there. And I cannot emphasize enough to tell you that. Myself and everybody else that I know, or as a human, we do this. I want to decide to get a new job, I want to be there. I want to get married, I want to be there. I want to get out of this toxic relationship, I want to be there. I wanted to make more money, I want to be there. We just make a decision and so eager to get there. And we forget the middle road between, that there's a lot of things that comes along with that. Number 1, it will take time. Everything that you're going to do, if you want to change something, it will take time. And you have to remember that. You can't just change things overnight. Nothing changes overnight. The best strategy, the best idea that I can give you is this. Whatever situation that you're changing, how long it took you to get there, that's how long it's going to get you to get out of there. So for example, again, let's give a weight example. If you gain 20 pounds over a period of 6 months, it will take you 6 months to lose that. It's not going to take you 6 months to gain that and then 2 weeks to lose it. If you're in a relationship, it will take you 4 years to build up that relationship, and then it didn't work out. It takes you 4 years to get out of it. And trust me, I have done it in a relationship. I've been in a relationship that I went for years and years and years, and then once it didn't work out and I wanted to get out of the relationship, I just wanted to move on. I just wanted to forget. I was like, all right, I want to feel better. I want to get back to my regular life. And we are so hurrying to do that. And that gives you the idea of fear. That will put you to failure, thinking that you're a failure, thinking that you cannot do it, and you go back to comfort zone. So what you need to do is that to remind yourself on the past success. If you have done something in your life that you are successful, and I don't care how small it is, it could be as simple as I wanted to start eating healthy. It could be as simple as that I'm going to redecorate the house. It could be as simple as that today I'm going to finish my to-do list. Focus on the past success. Once you do that, simply, slowly, your body will tell you that you can do it. That's just a confirmation from your own thoughts and from your own self that's saying that you can do it. Yes, good for other people to tell you that. Yes, good to get support from friends and family. But sometimes, how many people out there that they do have a support, they do have a family and friends, but they still don't do anything about their situation because they're too afraid of a failure. They're too afraid of, what if I can't do it? So to get the confirmation from your own self and believing your own self that you can do whatever that is that you want to change is to remind yourself. Go back to your past. You don't have to carry your past with you. You don't have to dwell over your past, but think about the small things that you have done in your life that you accomplished, that you were successful, and then apply that logic to the present change. And that's what I do. Now, example of that for me is very, very simple and very kind of like cheesy, but I love gardening. I love gardening and I grow roses. So roses are a little complicated for gardeners out there. It takes a lot of care to care for it, to make sure in the winter time you wrap it up and make sure they don't get cold, and then in summertime you have to do certain stuff. So when I see my roses in the summertime, when I see I have beautiful rose bushes, then I give myself a pat in the back and say, hey, listen, you did a great job. You kept them during the winter time, and this year is coming up, and look at the beautiful flowers. I know it sounds cheesy, but when I get stuck in a situation, I remind myself, listen, if I can take care of the flower, and if I can do my flower coming up so beautiful every year, then I can do this too. And I know it's a very simple example to give, obviously, for people that are going through a hard time, if you're going through something very difficult. But I'm just giving an example of little things add up. Every little thing add up. If you want to quit smoking. So just remember, if you lost weight, and if you went on a diet, and if you did all the other stuff, and if you're a mother and raising your kids, and if you're like good at your job, think about all of those past success and apply it to the quitting smoking. That's how it works. Because again, we're so eager to get there. We're so eager to look at the process and say, hey, I made a decision, I want to get there. And it doesn't work that way. So in order for you to get rid of self-doubt and succeed in something is to remind yourself and focus on the past success. Strategy number 3 and final strategy. For those of you out there that always think negative, for those of you out there that have a self-doubt about yourself, and you are fine in your life, but you're constantly thinking negative. You can't stop yourself from doubting yourself from small things that you want to do or big things you want to do, is to set up some small goal in your life. Before you set up a big goal, set up small couple of things that you have to accomplish first, then go for the big one. What that does is kind of train your mind, your thoughts, and your body to prepare yourself. Now, example of this would be for like athletes, boxers. Boxers starts with a small practice. They do jumping jack first, and they run first to get their body strong before they go to the ring and actually win the game. So it's like that. So if you have a self-doubt, if you're nagging all the time and thinking about yourself that you're not good enough, that you cannot do this, that is too hard, that I have to have somebody to support me, that I have to have help, or better yet, making excuse, and you're in comfort zone, you keep making excuse for yourself. That I can't do it because, and you're wasting time, is to sit back and say to yourself, okay, I'm gonna set up a small goal first. Something very, very small that I'm capable of, that I know that I can do. And then once you do that, then your body get used to it. Then that will boost your ego. Then that will give you confidence that anything else that you will do, you can accomplish it. If you jump in from comfort zone that you've been for so long, all of a sudden in one of this big goal you wanted to achieve, it's kind of get overwhelming. And I know a lot of people fall back to their comfort zone is the reason why, because they just going from 0 to 100. And sometimes, unfortunately, that doesn't work. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't have a big goal in life. And I'm not saying that you cannot accomplish big goal in life, but for your own good, for your own space of going comfortably, which I did, is to set up a small goal in your life. Because majority of the time, if we set up a big goal, and if we keep going, especially if it takes time, because a lot of stuff, I always say, the bigger the goal, the harder the work. So if it takes a lot of time, then you'll get bored, you'll get discouraged, you'll fall back to your comfort zone, and you will give up. And you will say to yourself, see, that negative thoughts come in your head and say, see, I was right, you can't do it. And that's how you create that little voice in your head that is always negative. So in order to stop that, do some small things. And once you accomplish that, you will be able to accomplish the bigger goal or bigger challenge that you have in your life. So this is my 3 strategy for get rid of negative thoughts, self-doubt, and doing and accomplishing anything you want in your life. Number 1, take an action rather thinking that you have to change yourself. Number 2, focus on the past goal. I don't care how small it is. Focus on that. You have done something that you are successful at. And every human being have done something that they've been successful at. And then the third one, don't get overwhelmed and set yourself a small goals. Small goals, accomplish that first. Get that boost of confidence first. And then move on to the big one. So that way you don't have to have self-doubt. That way you don't have to think negative. And more importantly, that way you don't have to give up. Thank you so much again. If you think that this video helping you or somebody else, be sure to share. If you have any comment or a question, please leave your comments down below. Until next time, have a great day.